Huma, it's very interesting that most of your characters, and I mean, it might be called breadcrumbs or the bare minimum, but they always have a job, you know. And I feel like we've been through those years in Indian cinema when female characters had nothing else to do but just wait for the man to look at her. But you know, even if you are in love, you know, you have a life, you know, you have a job. Even here, you're a professor. In your upcoming film Gulabi, you are an auto rickshaw driver, if I'm not wrong. And Bayan, which I'm very, very actually excited about, because I think it's the first time you'll be playing a detective. And I find it amazing that, you know, when they describe in synopsis for female characters what their professions are, and how their stories and their lives are so intricately connected to their professions, because that's not often written for women. I want to ask you, is it also very conscious on your part, you know, to have a character who has a complete life? Because I see that time and over again in your choices.
100%. It's a very conscious choice. I fight for it. I ask for it. I demand it. I'll give you an example from Mithya. In season 1, there was a scene which comes towards the end of season 1, where, of course, some time has passed. Yash is there, you know, who's playing my son. This little toddler, basically, like this few-month-old toddler. And I've written a book, and I'm supposed to make a speech about my book. And the lines that had come to me, and Purva that time was writing, and she's also a woman. Wonderful writer, by the way. And she some lines came to me, and I sat with her and I was very upset, because I was like, I don't know who's made these changes, who's not there in the original draft, because it just talks about how happy she is with now she's written this book for her son. As if a man wrote this book, he would not always attribute it to his children. He would just talk about his own personal journey, you know, and what it meant to him as an individual.
So true.
But the moment you have like even a 1-month-old baby, everything becomes about that. And that's the lens we put on women all the time. And I really resent that. And she just looked at me like, and she's like, yeah, you're right. And you're sorry, it was a collective mistake and we must rectify it. And I'm thinking small things like that, you know, I think, and that's something. It's always like, I always look for parts that have agency. It doesn't matter about length. It doesn't matter if you're headlining the show or the film. It's always about whether this character has agency and how this character is moving the plot along, and that's all, you know, and that's not breadcrumbing at all. I think that's a very, very real change, because you are for even see, because not every story will be about something.
Absolutely,
but it's about within the story, like what are you doing? What is your place? How are people looking at you? How are you being represented? You know, and that for me is extremely important.
Have you ever been told that you have, I don't know, maybe it's my personal view of you, that I think you have such a strong and overpowering and towering presence, you know, as a woman, that it's very difficult to look at you through male gaze. I do feel it's difficult.
Well, some boys will disagree. That's all I can say.
No, when I say male gaze, I mean in terms of that a man writing a woman versus you know, a very feministic way of writing a woman.
I know. So a script had come to me. This director offered me, lovely director. I really want to work with him. I won't tell you who, and it was with a big star and whatever. And इसमें एक scene था कि वो गुंडे हीरो को मार रहे हैं और मैं खड़े होकर रो रही हूँ, बोलती हूँ छोड़ दो इन्हें. And I called him and said, listen, I really want to work with you, and of course this production house, and of course this hero. But look at me. It's a bad casting. So let's find something else to do together. But like, I'll probably एक दो तो मारूंगी उसको कम से कम. ये हट यहाँ से, चल.
It's very difficult to believe that you would just stand there, you know.
Exactly. So I said, and he was
you
also
could cry,
laughing.
but still also kind of just.
Yeah. So he said, no, you're right, and yeah, we'll work on something else.
Yeah.
And I think we will.
Subscribe to Midday India. Get direct notifications on all our videos by clicking on the bell icon.